May 2020, the 1 ton challenge.
Do you think that you can hit 1 ton?
I mean, it's not impossible.
I've done like the basic calculations at home and I'm very borderline.
Yeah, easy.
What are your thoughts?
I'm feeling pretty good today. Feeling like something big's gonna happen. Ready for whatever is going to come my way. 6 lifts in about 2 hours is going to be phenomenally challenging, and I can definitely say it, just like the CrossFit total, the further you get in, the harder it is to get closer to your maxes, but I guess it's just who can recover the fastest to lift again.
During the 1 ton challenge, Evan, Harry, and I tested our strength over 2 hours, performing 1 rep maxes in the snatch, clean, squat, jerk, deadlift, and bench press. During this video, I hit 180 kilos for a single. Even after 2 max lifts, this repetition felt, well, weak. And I was not impressed. From this point forward, I set myself the goal to hit 200 kilos for a squat. To do this, I'll need a program, a methodology, and the will to succeed. Judging on the time period this would take, I began my 8-week deadlift and bench press program, where I was able to achieve some massive improvements in both areas of this training. I'm not gonna lie, I performed this cycle twice. But I needed something a little bit more to get me over the line for my squat. This is where I developed my 6-week cycle, and today I'm gonna take you guys through 1 week of this cycle. This program is designed to be super flexible. Whether you wanna build a bigger squat, deadlift, or bench press, it has options for all, as you'll find out later in this video. For me, I've chosen the squat pathway, but still, the majority of the program remains the same. We're going to start with day 1, week 1 of the program. 1 1/4 deadlifts and dumbbell bench press. Now, as mentioned in the introduction, this is a program looking to improve what we just developed during the 8-week deadlift and bench program. If you haven't done that program and want to, I'll leave a link in the description down below. 1 1/4 deadlifts are perfect for building posture and positioning in the quarter phase of the deadlift, forcing us to brace through our core and re-engage the lats during the pausing phase of the movement. These reps can be super challenging, so keep it in mind. You want to be sure to hit these with a lower weight than you would expect. For this, we're looking for an RP of about 9, leaving about roughly 1 rep in the tank, which in the case of this style of deadlifting, feels like you're leaving another 1 RM in the tank. Key points. On the 1 1/4 deadlift, you want to focus on a good starting position. If you mess up your setup position in this movement, it will punish you massively. Focus on pulling the bar into your shins, squeezing your lats to keep your back flat, and engaging your core. 1 repetition is equal to the quarter plus the full repetition phase.
it's all or nothing.
The dumbbell bench press. To complement all the bench press work we did during the 8-week cycle, the dumbbell bench press is primarily here to fix any imbalances we received from all the barbell work. The same RPE range as the deadlifts above, we're looking at leaving just 1 rep in the tank. Key points for our dumbbell bench press include making sure that the dumbbells are focused on a 45-degree angle. Having a 90-degree angle with the dumbbell can cause our front delt to take more of the load rather than our chest and our triceps. Just by angling this movement 45 degrees, we can activate the primary moving muscles and take some stress off those joints, allowing the dumbbell to travel naturally down to the bottom position, driving through your feet as to try and press those dumbbells up. This will help squeeze our chest and our rear delts at the top of the movement. Lastly, in day 1, we're looking at accessory movements that we cover off. We're firstly going to start with that pull-up test. It's 2 minutes max effort. Now this is just 1 set to get as many consistent reps as possible in that 2-minute block. Try and avoid staying in the dead hang for extended periods of time. We want to move constantly. The key points for this movement: overhand grip at all times for this one. We want to activate more of our lat fibers and increase our range of motion. If you know from the get-go that you're going to struggle with strict pull-ups and you're kind of average at that movement, let's either grab a band or some assistance from the machine. Just be sure to record the assistance that you use so that we can retest successfully in weeks to come. Also make sure that you record your total reps achieved in that 1 set effort. Moving on to day 2. Day 2, we're going to look at accommodating load and we're going to focus on the back squat. The use of chains and resistant bands changes the stimulus of the back squat, which in turn can develop strength in areas that a conventional squat will just miss. Now, if you don't have access to things like chains, you can always attach kettlebells to bands and hang them off your barbell. However, it will change the stimuli slightly, as chains are the lightest at the bottom. As the chain extends, it becomes the heaviest at the top, making getting out of that pocket position a much greater challenge. The back squat is in a wave format. This allows us to get an understanding of not only the load, but it also allows us to build weight and confidence over the rounds. So this is how this one works. Every 2 minutes, you'll begin a new set. The weight for rounds 1, 2, and 3 will be exactly the same. So don't increase until you get to round 4. Then 4, 5, and 6 will be the same. Don't increase till you get to round 7. 7, 8, and 9 will also be the same. Round 1, 2, and 3 start off at an RPE of 6, so 4 reps left in the tank. This should be relatively light. Then, without any rest, we begin round 4, and the weight increases slightly to 3 reps left in the tank, or a 7 RPE. Finally, the last 3 rounds are at an RPE of 8. Key points here: be sure to have a small chained weight on the inside of the bar if you are using chains. This will sandwich the chains between the big plates and the small change, and it will make sure that the chains themselves doesn't slide into you and kind of meet up with your hands. Remember, the accommodating load counts for 0, so don't try and add weights on the chain or don't try and add up the weight. Just add the weight that you place on the bar. The accessories for day 2 is similar to day 1. It's going to be a push-up test. 2 minutes, max effort with no braking. Same as the pull-up test from day 1, we're looking at some regular push-ups. Focus on keeping the hands at shoulder width, making sure the chest touches the ground for each rep to count. The same idea applies. Go for as many reps as you can in 1 set with no braking and no extended pauses. The key points to remember on our push-up: squeeze the glutes to stop your hips from sagging. If you struggle to perform repetitions on your toes, change this to max push-ups from a kneeling position. And as always, be sure to record this result. Now, something exciting I've tested out with this program, and I found it worked really well for myself, was that week 1, day 3 was actually a rest day. For many people on a regular working week, that will fall on a Wednesday, which most people will usually take Thursday and Sunday off. This is a bit of a changer, mainly because day 1 and 2 of the program are the hardest days of the program, apart from day 6, which I'll get onto in a moment. Take this day to rest, recover, enjoy a break, and get ready to lift some heavy weights. Week 1, day 4, tempo bench press. This is mostly an accessory-based lifting day. We begin with the tempo bench press with a top set. One set of 2 at an 8.5 RPE. Then, after you find that one set of 2, we do 3 sets of 5 at a 7 to 7.5 RPE range. The tempo for this one will be 3 seconds lower, a 1 second pause, and a 1 second raise. Our top set method allows us to move the most weight possible when our muscles are the most rested, when performing some larger bodybuilding sets afterwards to really build the muscle in our upper bodies. We use this method widely through our 8-week bench press and deadlift program, and I found my results were absolutely insane from doing the top set first. Key points to remember on our tempo bench press. Establish your bench press position prior. Breathe and hold for the duration of the repetition, and really focus on driving through the quads. This will give us the stable platform to work on. This moves us on to week 1, day 5, front squats and back rack lunges. Front squats start with a 3x3 at a 7 RPE. We're really just focusing on building stronger quads and a better position. So find a weight that's comfortable for your 7 RPE, which should roughly be around about 75% of your max front squat. Key points to note on the front squat is focus on keeping the bar as stable and as upright as possible. If you need to use the genie stance because you lack a little bit of mobility, you are most welcome. Just make sure that bar is nice and high in the right position. We get a 360-degree angle with our breath, and we shoot those hips back while actively pushing your knees out, driving through the heels and squeezing the butt as we return to that starting position. Back rack lunges, 3 sets of 8 each leg. Not gonna lie, every week of this program, this is what I least looked forward to. Up there with my most hated exercise, the Bulgarian split squat, the back rack lunge focuses on performing all 8 repetitions on the same leg before swapping sides. The key points to remember with our back rack lunge. Position your feet on train tracks. Be sure to have your front leg at about a 90-degree angle from the bottom position. In English, just make sure that your knee doesn't track over your leading foot. With your back leg, slowly lower the leg to the floor and avoid bashing your knee on the ground. Then drive through the leading foot's heel while simultaneously squeezing the rear glute. Week 1, day 6. The Bulgarian Method. If you are tracking well, this day is where I've implemented my new method with a surprising result. The Bulgarian Method at its simplest begins with 8 sets of 1 at around about 85% of your max movement. In this program, I've allowed you, the user, to choose the movement you want to work on the most, whether it's your deadlift, your bench press, or your squat. In this instance, and in line with my goal, I chose the back squat. Now, the Bulgarian Method states that athletes need to rest between 5 to 10 minutes between their sets, performing light cardio like skipping or a low heart rate biking movement. The goal in each week is to try and add a repetition to those sets until you can perform 8 sets of 2 reps at 85%. Then obviously your goal is to then perform 8 reps of 3 reps at 85%. Once you've achieved 85% for 3 repetitions for all 8 sets, your technical 1RM should increase. Now, I did this over the duration of the program, and I ended up hitting 8 sets of 3 at 85% by roughly about week 7 during the testing phase. So, based off that information, this leads us into week 7. Well, that's it, guys. That is 6 weeks of my FlexiCycle. I've gone through an entire week of the program. And for you guys, if you want to get the full program for yourself, all you have to do is simply visit absolutebeast.org to grab it. Get on it and begin those strength gains now. However, if you're a freeloader and you enjoy bite-sized components of a strength program for free, then head over to my Instagram, Beginners to Beast. I post my squat program daily for my next and upcoming squat program that I am personally on myself. And I'll see you guys on the next video. You guys are home. Stay a beast.
Do what it takes to make you believe. With my heart and hyperdrive, we do what we want, but when I'm free, with our hearts on hyperdrive.